Oh, hello. On Thursday the 5th of May, this country goes to the polls to decide whether or not to introduce the AV system to elect members of Parliament. Now some of you may be wondering whether or not to vote for AV, and I just think, on reflection, don't. Just don't. Don't you dare. If you do, I will find you and I will kill you. No, I won't. That's Liam Neeson in Taken. But he might. He hates electoral reform. Can't bear it. We already have a system in this country. We have a system whereby once every 5 years, a minority of swing voters in marginal constituencies decide who gets to be the government of the country. And it works very well. People are now saying, oh, they want the voting system to be more responsive. Responsive isn't a good thing. It's not always a good thing. It's not a good thing when you're sitting next to a hospital bed, holding the fragile, soft leather hand of what used to be a proud, strong man who beat you daily around the head and neck with a copy of the King James Bible, and trailed a string of greasy mistresses through the marital bed when your mother wasn't even cold. And the doctors tell you they can't turn the machines off. He's still responsive. And besides, he only had a broken toe. Responsive isn't good. Imagine if every MP had to actually care about what every one of their constituents thought. It would be chaos. There's loads of you. It's very selfish. As it stands, I could turn up to the hustings at Bucklet and Ruttington, my constituency, in 2015, and I could fart a cloud of hot pig's blood, take off my trousers, tuck my penis between my legs, and take questions from the audience whilst posing as a lady, and I'd still be re-elected with a thumping majority, as it should be. Someone once said, you get the politicians you deserve. Which means that you lot are a bunch of treacherous, thieving, morally bankrupt sycophants. And yet you have the gall to criticise us. Yes, mistakes were made. In my own case, these included the Duck Island, the Donkey Archipelago, the Beaver Peninsula, and the series of outbuildings that became known as Monkey Mansions. You know, yes, in retrospect, looking back, had I done a little bit of cursory research on the internet, I could have discovered that rhesus monkeys are highly territorial and aggressive and infectious. But had I known that, I could not, in all good conscience, have hired them to work at the local Shore Start Centre. Questions were also raised over the fact that I paid my wife £86,000 for secretarial services. But look at it this way. I used to have a very, very expensive prostitute habit. By paying my wife a nominal sum for the same services except for the anal, we had to outsource that. It's actually a cost saving to the taxpayer. Her shorthand is excellent. Her other hand's pretty good too. First past the post works. I mean, look at the government we've got now. It's an absolute spectrum of all the talents. It's a wondrous rainbow of white men who all read PPE at Oxford. With AV, sometimes you don't even get a proper result. You end up with a coalition, unlike first past the post, with which you get... Doesn't matter, forget that one, that one wasn't... Yes, okay, if AV were a good thing, would politicians from all the parties be against it? Most of us are. Even Nick Clegg calls it a miserable compromise, and if there's one thing you can say about Nick Clegg, is that when he's in opposition to something, that's a principled and consistent position. Except for tuition fees. What does AV even stand for? They tell us it stands for alternative vote, but how do we know? We don't know. AV also stands for anthrax virus, and anal violation, and acid-filled vaginas. Do you really want to vote for acid-filled vaginas? Some idealists are saying that AV means that people can vote with their heart. We're British. We don't vote with our hearts. We vote with pencils. Pencils and papers and a cold, cold knowledge that nothing will ever change. So I urge you, I beseech you, I implore you, vote no to AV. What does that say? Don't do what that says. That says don't do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. I will find you and I will kill. I can't do the voice. But I will find you. I will hunt you down and I will kill you. No, I won't. I'll maim you. I'll do something to you. Good Christ, I hope you die.